Hey, I'm here making this video today, and I have someone with me. I have the beautiful Amy.
Oh, hello, beautiful Karen.
Hello, my darling. Amy has joined me today to help me make this video. It was Christian that gave me this, that Shepherd's Bush in London was a white city. So we'll just play this little bit of video, and then me and the lovely Amy are going to talk for a few minutes, aren't we, Amy?
Yes, cute, lovely Karen.
Anyway, I was a bit shocked really, because I'll ask that question to you, Amy. When you see the pictures, what reminds you of?
Oh, you want me to answer now?
Yes, I do, Amy. Yes, I
It
do.
reminds you of the Chicago World's Fair, is what it reminds you of.
Yeah, so this must have been the same dynasty.
Yes.
Whatever it is. I mean dynasty.
Exactly.
I'm not just talking about the years, but the people that were running everything were in America doing the same thing as here.
Yes.
Pretending that they're travelling, this is all travelling around and making these cities in weeks. Anyway, it says 1909 the exhibition site hosted the Imperial International Exhibition, and in 1910 the Japanese-British exhibition during this period was known as the Great White City due to the white marble cladding used on the exhibition pavilions, and hence gave its name to this part of Shepherd's Bush. I don't know, it still looks like... Which one was it? Chicago? Yeah.
Yes.
Talks a little bit about the White City, but they don't explain enough. But at least they've called it the White City, and there it is in London. It's this part of London here. So this is all London, and the Thames goes through the middle, and then there it is there. So it is quite in the heart of London, probably slightly to the left, but still, it's not on the outskirts of London. Yeah, so anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so... And then there's a little bit more about... You can't find that much about it being the White City, or any information about it, to be honest. But they wouldn't want us knowing it anyway, would they? Not now.
Of course.
But
That's
that
right.
The White London, England, in the northern part of Shepherd's Bush, in the London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham, 5 miles, 8 kilometres northwest of Charing Cross. White City is home to the television, White City Palace, Queen's Park, Rangers, football clubs and stuff like that. That's what they're saying. And there's a tiny bit more there, and that's where I got the pictures from, .com. So we're coming to the end of my little bit of footage, Amy. It is a bit weird, isn't it, when it looks so much like Chicago?
It is. I agree.
And that would I'm gonna stop the video there, because that's quite good. It had these big white pillars, but as if they're going into it. I don't know, people live there now. Oh, it's all crazy. But it is so strange, it looks like... So basically, it must have been the same dynasty, the same everything, just like today. So obviously, maybe this was the Roman Empire Part 2.
That's right. That makes sense. It could have been. It's really beautiful when you look at it. It's so lovely.
Yeah, let's go back to a picture with that in, so we can back a bit. There, that'll do. It does look so like Chicago. I'm sure if we stuff that in, people... Well, they had a few more statues, I think, in Chicago. But what does it remind you of, Chicago?
The World's Fair, Tartarian.
Yeah. Well, my feeling, Amy, I don't know what yours is. I've told you before. It's almost as if the 1700 is where we've got what's it called? 1 second. Amy reminded me. League of Gentlemen. It's like they're sort of Victorian-like. League of Gentlemen, and then we get the Victorians that are basically quite poor.
Yes.
And so,
I think
and they've mangled it all together. But really, the really old photographs you see, the really old ones, and the League of Gentlemen's is earlier with the technology.
Yes.
And then they did something in the 1800s, which would be crazy if something like that happened right now. But you know, we lost. Well, they're saying half of Doggerland and half of England disappeared, and other places went through tremendous things as well in the 1800s. And the mud came, just children with all the mud, where's the parents, etc, etc. So I don't know, I think that this could have been built then.
That's a good possibility.
People have got to think that, how would people in horse and carts build all this stuff in the water? You can't just slap this up and it's going to stay there. You have to build it properly.
That's right.
And they're not building matchboxes like we've got today. Some of those buildings are enormous.
They are.
Oh, I know something else, Amy, you can help me with. It's just another really weird thing. We'll finish this bit first. What's your thoughts on this, Amy?
Well, I just think it really goes to show you that, about Tartaria and everything, because we have it in Chicago and we have it in London, these white cities. It's like you said, it's like an empire or a dynasty, the same dynasty everywhere. So
and when you look at that, they look like they were quite refined.
Yes, very refined. Yes.
Honestly, this is how the Dutch were living, and that's been almost wiped off. How rich the Dutch were, and the sailing and all that. They've kind of wiped that out of history and made them this little blob over there that got flooded.
Yes.
But at one point they had so much money, the Dutch.
That's right.
I looked that up a while ago. Anyway, I'm going to stop this because I'm going to show Amy a few pictures before we move on to the next bit.
Okay.
So, me and Amy are back now, and basically I showed her some pictures which we're going to look at in a minute. But what it is this building is empty. It's been left standing since probably the turn of the century, maybe a few years on from that. Or is it 1988? I think it's 1988 actually. So this place has been empty since then, and they're just leaving it sitting there rotting away. And this is what I'm finding with the hospitals. They're doing the same thing. Some hospitals have human remains in them, and some have their documents and other drugs and equipment they could sell on. But they're just leaving those. And I haven't finished this video yet, and I'm probably not going to actually play him talking. But the guy said that oh, hang on a second. I've got so much whirling around my head.
I know. Yes.
That's it. The councils know that these properties are empty and full of rubbish and leftover equipment, and he said, and they're not going to do anything about it. So when they tell us there's not enough housing, they're lying. I mean, this train station here, which we're going to look at some photographs in a minute, and then me and Amy are going to talk. Well, I'll put the photographs on. Why don't they make this into a block of flats for people to live in?
That's right.
It's
That's
13 stories high. You get loads of flats in there. But anyway, when we're looking at this, what does the front end look like to you, Amy?
It looks Roman.
Yeah, that's the first thing that hits you. You think, wow, that bit looks older than the train station, and that bit looks Roman.
Yes.
Oh, and the reason that I've taken these pictures is, look how flat it is! Look how... Oh, we're going back to it in a second. Look how flat it is! Look how flat it is! What don't people see? Anyway, yeah, so the councils, and obviously the council for this area, know that they're empty and are just leaving it there. Anyway, this building was 13 stories high. You can't just slap these things up. It says the dates, I think like 09 to 1988. And it's really strange that they go to all this effort and build that, and it's only going for so many years.
Right.
But they said, people fly a lot more now. People don't use the train like they used to. So it could be like, like they used to need coke from the ovens to make the steel, and then they didn't. They used something else. So maybe that's what's happened to this train station. But it looks beautiful, and that first bit is definitely Roman looking to me. And then that is all derelict right now, and they know it's sitting there rotting, and there's no plans for any of it. They're just leaving it there.
Yes.
Sad, isn't it? What an amazing...
It is sad.
It looks kind of like an amazing building. I mean, look at the windows in there. That's the train station when it was going.
Yes.
Anyway, I just took a few photographs from this video. And there is another picture of it. So the Romany bit must be the other side, and then the bit that's facing the track's got slightly different bits at the back.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've got a few train tracks. There you go. I just think it's sort of, I don't know, in another sense, it doesn't look right either. Like, it looks like a concentration camp or something, Amy.
I know.
There you are,
When you said
1914.
that, I understand what you mean.
1914 to 1988. It wasn't even around that long. Why go to all this effort? But look at all this.
Oh, I know.
It's Roman.
Yes.
Imagine that. That's the one thing Americans used to say. Oh, we're so jealous of English's history.
Yes.
And you don't realise you've actually got all the same history.
Exactly. We don't even realize it.
The only thing you haven't got is a king or a queen, but do you want one of those?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we want a king or queen.
When we look at that, and you look at that front bit, and it looks Roman, don't you think that's strange, Amy?
I do think it's strange.
You can see it's a different colour. The buildings are different colours.
Yes.
I mean, we
Yes.
wondered whether it was a prison.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like a prison to me.
I know there's prisons and asylums everywhere.
It is. It's terrible, really.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to put this in because what an amazing building. Derelict. Another derelict building. Abandoned. There you go. The world's
Yeah.
tallest train station was abandoned. The story of Michigan Central. Its history.
Yes, that's really interesting. I didn't really ever hear of it, to be honest. Michigan Central.
That's what I mean. What you don't know, you only know what you know, and if you don't know, you don't know.
Right. It's just so much out there.
America is not great again. Because Trump kept going, let's make America great again, because he obviously knew most of it was derelict.
Exactly. Yes. He always said that, and, well, he didn't get a chance to make it great again, unfortunately. With everything that happened, we didn't get it made great again, but maybe that's what he meant, because everything was derelict.
Mind you, he's a baddie.
Yes.
They're all baddies.
I didn't know when he was elected.
I
thought
tried
he
to.
was goody.
I said it in that video that we were watching earlier on, Amy. That Arnie gets to Mars. He knows who the baddies are. Then that woman, that shape-shifting thing, he kills her, and he gets into this hall, and all these televisions are on, and then the news comes on, and then the baddies, which look like the goodies to the people, the baddies are on the television, the ones he's trying to get to.
Yes,
So that is what it's about. It's the same thing.
it is. It's the same thing. They give us little bit of hints in the movies.
But there
And
is
we
something I find very strange, Amy. There does seem to be a lot of people missing.
Yes.
And you know what? I haven't put this on my channel. It's not even particularly nice. You know, I told you about Richard D. Hall. Richard D. Hall is a bit like us, looking at stuff and realising that most things don't add up. But he's into
Yes.
space and Mars, and he's not a flat earther. And then he said something really nasty to me when I was trying to tell him, because I was talking to him. I went to see one of his shows, and he was very interested in Hungerford because he thinks they're all mind controlled, and he's shown that the Maddie McCann case was wrong. But the reason those people don't look guilty, even though we think, look what you did to your little girl, is Maddie McCann wasn't real either. It was the same thing. It's just another his story.
Yes.
So they've got no guilt because nothing happened. So
Right.
the two children they've got are probably the two children they've only had.
Yes.
And then you find out that he found out that the doctor is a Queen's doctor, so he goes to the Queen,
Yes.
and that's why so much aid was given to him. But on the other hand, it's all a story, so it's all bananas. But
It is.
oh, hang on a second. 1 second. This bit isn't so nice though, Amy. What it was is Richard D. Hall, I don't know if he's done much about it now, but he went to see this person who's got like photograph books of its animals being killed. And I don't know if anybody else has heard of this, but cows and horses get killed. what it is there's no evidence of how they got in there. But what they did was they might have killed a whole flock. So what seems to happen is that like a big needle goes in and goes into their brain and kills them. This bit's horrible. I do excuse it, but this is what happens. They take their eyes, they take their genitalia, and they take their blood.
Oh.
So when they get there, all the animals are all sucked out. And there's no evidence of how they got in and how they got off. It's not like there's a big skirmish and you think, oh, they were chasing the animals and they killed them. There's none of that. The animals are just dead.
Right.
As if by surprise someone's gone. It just reminds me of, in Terminator, when the man's, one of the earlier ones, I forget it, with that police officer, and he's looking at you and then he can make his fingers grow long. It's like something like that happened and went dunk into the animal. Now, he was following that. These animals go missing in America, they go missing in England, and there are a few other countries where these animals go missing. Now, how do they go missing? They're taking their blood.
Right.
I'm wondering if that's what's happening to us. They're taking us because of our blood.
That could very well be.
It's like every film that you could imagine that you remember, like Time Machine, what is it? What's the film called when Arnie goes to space? I've forgotten that one. Total Recall. Then you've got the Truman Family. You've even got Gravity. You've got what is it? Orion? No, not Orion. He's going. It's about the computer, and he goes, Dave, I'm turning myself off. Is it Jupiter? Not Jupiter. They did another one on space. That one. It's very June.
Yes.
There's bits of these films. There's more of them. Most films that you can think of. Our reality is really in those films. It's like they're telling us what's going to happen in advance or something.
Exactly.
I can't explain the animal bit. I watched that quite a few years ago, and I don't really follow Richard D. Hall that much anymore because he laughed at me and he said horrible things to me, to be honest, and I don't.
Oh, that's awful.
I don't understand because in a way the same thing would happen to him. People think he's mad, what he does, and will question him, and he did the same thing to me, and I actually liked the guy and I was following him. So,
that's terrible.
But there are things I remember, like he said that there's another part of NASA, so they get the commercial side, which is for us with the rockets, the fake rockets and out-of-date rockets, and then the other part, the military side, are miles ahead doing their bit, and then the bit with the animals, and then the subversion. I've used a couple of his videos because they were so good. Not now, but in the past. But he was very nice to me, and I thought, oh, thanks very much. He should have understood more than anybody. But he has a program on the television. There you go. Maybe he's one of them. He goes into space and he believes about Mars, even though he shows you lemmings and things, like those pictures where they showed you Mars and there's other things on there. I mean, that's just awful, isn't it?
It is.
You know what it is like? Just go out there and film that bit and we'll put it on as Mars, and they didn't realise there's lemmings in it.
That's awful.
Yeah. But I just can't make this place out, Amy. I'd like to know the history of this station.
Yes, me too.
Like, what really was it? I mean, with those gates on it like that, it looks like it was something else than a train station originally.
It does. It does. Like,
it was a train station. It closed in 1988, so people would have said, I've been in there. I've been to that train station. So you've still got people who will know that they've been there, but it's all crazy.
Yes.
Anyway, Amy, I want to say thank you for helping me. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Oh, no, but I'm glad you brought this to my attention. I never even heard of it. And it's just fascinating and very disturbing.
Do you know what Christian calls me?
What's that?
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, yes, that's it. Sherlock Holmes. That's a good one.
We're the real detectives, you, me, and the awake ones. We're the real detectives.
Yes. We're detectives, that's right.
Anyway, thanks for helping me, Amy.
You're welcome, Karen. Oh, actually, I think, wait a minute, it might be still running. It said it was one of several passenger rail stations that served Pittsburgh during the 20th century. Other stations included Pittsburgh and Lake Erie, Baltimore and Ohio, and Wabash, Pittsburgh. And it is the only surviving
is it still got, there's a train there, but I don't know how long ago that is.
That must be still an active use.
So just to say, me and Amy didn't go. We were just saw this picture. In fact, I thought this is the train station we were supposed to be going to, but it was the other one. I just want to show one picture, Amy. Yeah, so me and Amy are back just for a few minutes because I saw this one, but it's got the funny thing here. Look at, there's another one there, I think, and there. Look. I don't know. That chimney's probably not there anymore. No, I don't think the chimney's there anymore. Wait 1 second. Right. I wonder what this chimney has to do with it, because it's right there by the train station. But you see, it's not there now. But it was there in the older pictures. It was in the older pictures, but it's not there now. But you think this station, it's got cars in the car park. So this is Union Station in Pittsburgh is still going.
Yes.
But again, it has an amazing structure outside. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful again. It's not quite as old, I don't think, or as quite as grand as the last building, but it's still quite grand. But this one's still going. But I just saw it. I thought we were going to this place, so I put this place in, but we were I think everybody understands. I picked the wrong station. There is something. There is something here. I just want to go across to here. That bit looks empty. Pin on home. That place is locked up. But anyway, we are going now, aren't we, Amy?
Oh yes, Karen.
I just wanted people to see this one. Like, there's another nice. Oh, hang on a second. So we're finished on this picture here. I was just saying to Amy while we were just waiting to come back on. Does that look a bit? It's different colour, isn't it? It's like a red brick, whereas the other one isn't in the other train station. But what an amazing entrance!
It is. It looks a little Roman as well.
It's done in the same era because it's got this thing at the front, just like the other station.
Yes.
There it is there. Look, it's amazing. Abandoned train station. Yeah, it's better. There's loads of those. But anyway, we are finishing now, aren't we, Amy? Because me and Amy can't sort anything out, but we just like to show you the problems or the things that are going on.
That's right, Karen.
Anything you want to say before we go, Amy?
Oh, I think that's all, Karen. It was very interesting to see all these abandoned and places and everything. And like you said, we were jealous in America that we didn't have the history that you all do, but actually we do have the history.
If only the Americans realise they've got just as like what video I did about castles. A couple of people wrote messages. They were going, it's almost like it's like saying we're living on the moon or something. They found it very hard to take in. Like when you said we had castles, it didn't sound right.
No,
but we've got castles. And the thing is that if you don't know, you don't know. But you've got just as much history. The only thing you haven't got is a queen or a king.
That's right.
And we know who's part of that, don't we? Ellen.
Exactly.
Ellen should be a princess.
That's right.
Because she is related. She is when we looked her up, right? It said she was related to Camilla, to Kate, to Meghan, to. She was related to the Queen. She was related to everybody. She's more royal than that lot.
Yes, that's right. So I guess Ellen's our queen.
Yeah, she's your queen. Yeah, good luck on that one. But anyway, we're finishing now, and just hope we've brought up some interesting points for people.
Yes.
Love you, Amy.
Love you too, Karen.